Hi everyone, my name is Violet if you're new here. I just got off of work at Leonardo's and I'm here with Lydia. She met me here after my shift so we could catch up and have ice cream. I have a hunter jumper lesson in an hour at the SEC, so I'm going to grab riding clothes at my apartment and then catch the bus, so I'll talk to you in a bit. Emma the trainer is actually away from the barn this weekend at the horse show on Paddock Island, so she asked if we were okay with having a jumping lesson from her working student who's staying home to manage the barn, and we said yes, so the lesson will be with Haley today. I got a request to show you a riding OOTD, so I decided to use my GPA helmet this time, just some basic Ovation tan breeches, and I put on this Adidas jacket because there's a storm coming in and it'll be chilly. And the boots I always wear are Ariat. Also, I don't know where I got my gloves, so yeah. I found Haley and she explained that I wasn't going to ride Gino this time because he can't jump the height we're taking our lesson at, so instead I'm paired with a warm blood mare named Socks, whose owner is currently away at university. She was originally trained as a jumper, but can also be used for hunters as well. Maddie had already caught her horse, Calypso, from the pasture and started grooming, so I just had to find my tack and bring Socks to the cross ties. This is Maddie's mare Calypso. She's a 6-year-old trackner, and Maddie shows her in the baby greens. Now we're about to get on. I ran my stirrups down and made sure that Socks had a tight girth. We walked a long way to the riding arena at the bottom of the hill, but it was fun. A storm is forecasted to come in, but thankfully the arena is indoors, which is a super nice part about the SEC. Haley had us start trotting when we made it to the arena since we already warmed up walking on the way here. She told us to get into 2-point and hold it at the trot so we could stretch our heels down, and she gave us critiques to make sure our position was correct before we actually started jumping. Then we simply posted the trot for about 3 laps each direction with some circles and serpentines thrown in here and there to work on their bend and suppleness. After we trotted, Haley had us walk half a lap on the buckle before gathering the horses back up again. This is when things went kind of wrong. The wind was really loud outside, and it was blowing on the windows, so Socks got a little spooky, which was completely fine with me, and I felt confident that I could handle it. We were told to canter left lead, and I picked it up just fine, but then I couldn't get her collected up, and her strides just started to get bigger and bigger, and Haley was telling me to shorten her stride and use my seat to help. But then Socks started to bend outward because she was paying more attention to the storm outside. Then she heard thunder and bolted to Maddie and Calypso. My mind went completely blank at first, but then I pulled my left rein all the way back to her butt, and it ended up being fine. We all stayed calm, and Haley told us to stand in the middle and chill out for a few minutes to wait for the weather to calm down. Both of the horses were pretty nervous, especially Socks, so we just sat and talked and relaxed for a bit. Socks wouldn't stand half the time, so we walked a few circles, and I tried to get her to stand, but she wasn't relaxed enough at the time, and she was still worried about the noises outside. Finally, after waiting for about 10 minutes, the wind, thunder, lightning, whatever was happening in Jorvik, I don't even know, it just started to rain, so we were able to go back to what we were doing. Haley had us pick up our left lead again, and this time, Socks was perfect. The canter was very smooth and collected. Her head was straight this time, and it was just the weather that she was sensitive to, apparently. We were instructed to change direction at the canter by cutting diagonally across the ring between the jumps, and then changing lead, preferably flying. I squeezed with my outside leg and inside rein for a moment, and she didn't change, so then I tried again while clicking, and then she did her flying change. I was told that she isn't ever interested in the first lead change, but then she gets into the groove of things and doesn't have a problem after that. Then we cantered a few laps to the right, and Haley told us to do the same thing the opposite direction, where we went across the diagonal for a lead change. I asked for the flying change, and Socks was very responsive this time. Her lead change was so smooth and nice to ride. Calypso is still green, so she was having trouble getting her flying change and was cross-cantering, so Haley told me to walk around on the buckle while she helped Maddie and Calypso fix their flying changes. It was time to take a warm-up trot jump. I was told that Socks always takes one gathering stride at a trot jump, no matter what, which isn't ideal, but is still accepted nonetheless. She wanted me to make sure to collect her up to make sure that one gathering stride wouldn't turn into 2 or maybe even 3. After our warm-up jumps, Haley told us we were going to canter a single before we put an entire course together. So I followed Maddie and Calypso. I think I told you guys in my last video that I had trouble finding distances. Well, this is it. Socks is very forgiving though, and it didn't faze her at all. After we cantered the single both directions, Haley told us the course we would be doing. It starts on a bending line, then a long ride to a single jump, and then a very sharp turn to the 2-stride, then come down to the trot and trot over the jump that we warmed up on, and canter out the bending line. Then, if everything is going well at that point, we are allowed to take another single at the end. I was nominated to start first. The end of the bending was very rough. We rushed up to it, and we chipped into the out of the bending line. Then it was a long ride to the single, and our distance was okay, but then we chipped into the 2-stride, and I had to really push socks to get us out in 2 strides, but we really ended up doing 2.5. I trotted too early, which isn't a huge deal, and then the last bending line was the best line, and I opted out of the last single after how we did. Haley gave us a lot of advice for the next time. Mostly I needed to get organized and collected instead of running at jumps. Then it was Maddie's turn. The next time we jumped a lot cleaner and our distances were nicer other than the long spot out of the 2 stride. Haley told us to walk a lap to cool the horses out and to be careful getting back to the barn. We were trotting because we didn't want to get soaked, and Maddie really likes the rain, if you can't tell. After we finished untacking, I said bye to Maddie and went to put Socks back in her stall. She typically would have been turned out into the pasture, but the weather is trash. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Now I'm just hanging out here waiting for the rain to stop. Thanks for watching. Bye.